Hi, I'm Atahan Koksoy, and in this video, we'll be talking about how the theme of choices is present throughout East of Eden, and how Steinbeck, the author of East of Eden, seems to believe that good people live with their families, forge actual relationships, and work for causes bigger than themselves to conquer sin. This theme is present from the very beginning of the book, where we meet Cyrus Trask and Adam Trask and Charles Trask, the main characters for part 1 of the book. The book begins with Adam and Charles, half-brothers living on the Trask farm. The audience quickly learns that their family is very dysfunctional, and that Charles is fierce and strong and not at all like Adam. Adam is kind, but also weak and timid. We watch as the two Trask children grow up and become very different people. Adam leaves to join the military and works for a cause other than himself, namely war, while Charles stays on the farm and becomes increasingly isolated. Charles is selfish and immoral, and it is said that he visits the local brothels. Meanwhile, Adam returns to the Trask farm, and his relationship with Charles is strained throughout the book. Adam meets Kathy, a troubled woman who was beaten and left on the Trask porch. Adam marries Kathy and moves to California to make a family. This clearly shows Steinbeck's perspective that people who live for themselves are immoral, while good people live for their families and work for other causes. Then there's Kathy, the main villain of the story and Adam's former wife. She's the most immoral character in the book, living only for herself and leading to many deaths. She moves to California with Adam, but comes to hate him. After giving birth to Cal and Aaron, she decides to leave, showing no regard for her husband or children. This is evident in chapter 17, where she suggests that Adam drown the children and calls Adam a fool. She shoots Adam and leaves to set up a sadistic brothel in Salinas, ruining more lives and eventually committing suicide. This once again shows that Steinbeck's perspective is that immoral people are more likely to live for themselves. Next, we look at Joe Valerie, Kathy's servant, who believes that the world is an angry conspiracy against him and is loyal to no one. He tries to embezzle Kathy, but she expresses his criminal background, and he's shot by the police, continuing the trend that immoral and selfish characters suffer terribly. Finally, we look at the Hamiltons, the nicest characters in the book who live in one big happy family, despite being poor and having completely unfarmable land. Some, like Olive and Samuel, create their own families and care for each other, while others, like Desi and Tom, live alone but continue to help each other no matter how dire the circumstances are. Will, the most immoral of the Hamiltons, lives alone and becomes obese, saying, "I'm getting too fat," and having to sell something he hates, but still making a fortune. This shows that the kind and unselfish characters have families and live better lives. In fact, this theme is so prevalent in the book that we can even predict what happens to characters after the book. For example, Cal, the main character of the book for much of part 2, has an internal struggle between good and evil and says that he doesn't want to be mean but causes a lot of damage, and is partially responsible for his brother Aaron's death. He shows compassion, however, after getting into a loving relationship with Abra Bacon and staying by his father in his final moments. It's implied that he will conquer sin because he has forged an actual relationship and will probably make a family with Abra. In conclusion, the theme of choices is present throughout East of Eden. It is very important, and Steinbeck generally seems to believe that good people, good characters, live better lives, live longer lives, and also are more likely to conquer sin, especially if they forge relationships and live for their family.